Thank you for joining me again, my hackers. Now, in the last video, we looked at the top 5 things that we should be doing at any stage in life. Advice I would give to persons in their 30s and 40s as I approach my 50s now that will make you more financially independent and to retire early. Learn from my mistakes so that you don't make those same mistakes, and probably you will be better off and more ready for early retirement than I am right now. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and success. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be jumping into the last 5 hacks so that you will be better ready for an early retirement and be more financially independent than I am now going into my 50s. Now, the 6th point, because we looked at the first 5, and the first 5 were taking responsibility for where you are at your current stage in life. Then it was to prioritize savings and investments. The other point was to surround yourself with the right persons so that you can grow. And the 4th point was to reduce your debts by any means necessary. While the 5th and final point that we left off on the last video was to focus on building your wealth and not just trying to look rich. Now, I strongly advise, if you want to delve deeper into those first 5 points, that you watch the previous video on that. Now, the 6th point is seek professional advice, and that is something that I started doing way too late. Earlier in my life, I jumped into opportunities once I thought that they were going to be feasible without doing the due diligence, the market research, and speaking to other persons who have been down that path before. Now, later on in my life, over the last 2 to 3 years, I have started paying for this professional advice, and the amount that I pay for these professional services is nothing compared to what I have lost in the past. Therefore, it's worth it. And the amounts are not exorbitant. So therefore, invest in the professional advice that is available so that, as I mentioned before, you can shortcut the process to success, learning from the experience of others, and just speaking to persons who are way more knowledgeable in these fields than you can possibly be at the initial stage of your investment. Now, these advisors and professionals can include a financial consultant. It can be a business consultant in starting up and the effective and efficient ways of running a business, and also a tax advisor, because especially in the United States that you have to do your tax returns, and there are so many regulations and sometimes loopholes that you can do tax avoidance, not evasion, but avoidance. It is always good that at the start of your business that you speak to a reputable and a qualified tax consultant. So therefore, you can start properly from the beginning. Another professional that is good to speak to is a retirement planner. So you can know what to invest in, the right amount at the right time, so that you can be more established and be more guaranteed of a financially comfortable retirement. My 7th tip and hack might be the most important one, something that I neglected in my earlier years, is that your health is your wealth. So therefore, you need to take care of your health. Now, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, it is time to start doing the simple, basic things that is required for you to live a longer and more healthy life. Now, simple things like getting more active. And getting more active could just be taking a walk each day. A 20 to 30-minute walk will do wonders for your life and can actually add years to your longevity. Additionally, start looking at what you're eating. You're no longer a teenager with the metabolic rate of a fire engine that can easily burn off excess calories. Your metabolic rate is slowing down as you approach your 30s and 40s, so you have to be more careful as to what you are consuming. Remember, more and more food is to be treated as fueling for your body. The other important saying as well is that let food be your medicine, or medicine will become your food later on in life. So therefore, it is now time not to just consume things completely based on taste alone, but also to start incorporating things to your diet that has some amount of health benefit to it. If it tastes bad, so what? Look at the longevity of your life, because it absolutely makes no sense we sit here and plan for early retirement, financial independence, to live longer, enjoy life, travel the world, if you do not have the health to enjoy life later on. Remember as well that just one medical emergency can completely wipe you out financially if it is that you do not have certain things in place and if it is that you were not taking care of your health. So this is extremely critical. Take care of your health. The eighth point is now you are dealing with the body, you have dealt with financial and money. Now it is time to go mentally, to go deeper inside. And this is to develop a mindset of abundance. Remember, if it is that you are a Christian or you believe in a higher being, abundance is always a thing of importance because everything that is around you in nature deals with abundance. A tree will never stop growing unless it is cut. Your grass will never stop growing. Rivers and seas flow abundantly. So why is it that you, as another creation in nature, should limit yourself and not be abundant in your mindset and in your attainment? There's no exception to you. Another thing is that you should just stop worrying as much. Remember I said before, if you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, I am a little bit concerned going into my 50s knowing that I am not as ready as I should be. But hey, I am at the stage that I should be now in life. I am here, I have to deal with it, and I have a mindset that I will be taken care of. If it is, tell you a story. I was watching outside one day at the birds coming out, and they land on a limb and they pick at an insect, and they will land on the ground and they pick on a worm. Did they leave that worm there the previous day? Did they anticipate that that insect would have been on that limb from the previous day or the previous week? They made no plans. God has therefore provided for them in a way that when they get up, and this might offend some persons of different beliefs, but I just gotta be true and speak as to what I believe in. So I was gonna say I apologize, but I don't apologize. Now, if it is that God, or a higher being as you might believe, has provided for this bird that has way less significance than you, then how much more will he provide for you that he knows and counts and knows by number every hair on your head, though I have none, to the sole of your feet? So if you are much more of importance than that bird on that limb, that has made me feel more comfortable and relaxed knowing that my future is taken care of. So change your mindset right now. Have the mindset of abundance, of comfort. You're not going to be complacent. There's a big difference there. You are going to put things in place and you're going to start acting now, but you're not going to be bothered. You're not going to be worried. You're not going to have anxiety because you're taken care of. You're covered. Rest assured, best believe. Your ninth point is extremely important, and that to develop multiple streams of income. Personally, I believe that everyone should have a side hustle. Everyone should be an entrepreneur. Now, you're going to tell me that not everyone was made for it, and some persons are very happy and comfortable being an employee. But my personal belief is that every single person should have a side hustle because that is what gives you that gravy, that extra amount, that allows you to live at a different standard of living and gives you so much more flexibility and peace of mind, and also allows you to pass on something to the next generation, especially if you have kids and grandchildren. Can you pass on your job to your children and your grandchildren? Most times, no. Therefore, if you have developed a business, if you're an entrepreneur or you have a side hustle, then it allows you to live at a different level with a much better peace of mind. So I think everyone should strive to be an entrepreneur or to even start with a side hustle. Ideas I recommend to you: have a second property and get your rental income from the second property. If you have a motor car, if you and your spouse have remote jobs and both of you have a motor car, you can easily start doing short-term rental of the other motor car, because you can consolidate your purposes to just using one motor car while the other one is being rented out. If you have an extra room and if you're comfortable, it is not commingling too much with your family and your security, you can place that extra space on Airbnb or on Vrbo, so you can get that additional income streaming in. If you have a skill, even if you're in a job and you have some specified skill, like you are an electrician, you are a mechanic or a plumber or a carpenter, you can put yourself on Fiverr or Upwork or Freelancer, and you can start doing side gigs to be earning off your skill. There's no better benefit than having a skill, but hey, you might be getting $15 to $20 per hour on your employment job, while as a side gig you could be earning $50 or $100 on that same skill that you're now underpaying yourself for. If you have to trade your time for money, make sure you're maximizing the amount of money that you can get for your time. Only makes sense, my hackers. Now the last point, point number 10, is going to be a little bit controversial, and that is to live in a lower cost area, community. Now, I am not saying that you are going to risk your life and live in volatile areas just for the cost of it. But I made this foolish mistake in my 20s and 30s that I purchased a house, biggest mistake, in a high-end area, whereby if I had purchased a property in a different area that is not going to be risky or a security hazard, I could have saved half the amount that I was paying. Was I trying to keep up with the Joneses? Maybe. Over exuberant in terms of what I anticipated my income to be over the next few years? Maybe. But it was a big mistake. Learn from my mistake. Live in a lower cost area, especially in your 20s, 30s, 40s. Accumulate all that savings that you could be paying, whether on rent or mortgage. Invest the amounts aggressively. Then later on, you can live more comfortably in any area that you would like because you can more afford it, especially in your retirement years. Me personally, I'm not sure if I really want to be tied down to any one place owning somewhere, because I plan to travel the world, spending months, different times in different places, experiencing different cultures. Because guess what? When you're on that deathbed, I've never seen a U-Haul connected to a hospital or to a hearse. I am going to be laying there and I'm going to be remembering, if I do not have dementia or, what's the other one? Whatever it is, dementia or Alzheimer's. If I don't have dementia or Alzheimer's, then I will just be remembering all these experiences that I had in life. So therefore, if you can have lower housing costs while you invest the difference, then that's a smart idea. Now tell me if any of these resonated with you in the comment section below. Add as well any points that you think would be beneficial to me going into my 50s that I can invest in so that I can have more financial independence and to retire early. I plan to retire soon. Hopefully I'm ready. But I'm putting things in place right now and I want you to do this same. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.